Let's call the meeting to order. It's 10 o'clock. Roll call, please.
Kathy Clater,
Yes.
Alan Stallings,
Here.
Gerald Oliver,
Here.
Scott Hagan,
Here.
Kathy Muse.
We need agenda approval. Are there any comments from the public?
I have 2 comments I'd like to make on the agenda. The first thing is I apologize for putting this in the morning on a Sunday, but circumstances kind of led to this being the option. So I just wanted to set that out there. The other thing I did want to bring up is in our special meetings, it is not required to prefer to do moving forward. I'll change the template to address that.
No.
Yes? Okay.
Yes, you want it?
I think we should have it also.
Yeah, I omitted it just in an interest of being respectful of people's time, but at the same time, it's a minute and brings us together. I like it, so I'll add it next time.
Yes.
Any comments from the board? Have a vote to approve the agenda.
All motion.
All right, Kathy Clater,
Yes.
Alan Stallings,
Yes.
Gerald Oliver,
Yes.
Scott Hagan,
Yes.
Kathy Muse.
Yes.
All right, so seeing how we're doing a special meeting, on the previous special meeting, we were unable to do the resolution 2026-4, which is amending the resolution for 2026-3 to include additional positions on the consolidation for election. So seeing how we're here, I figured we'd take advantage of this opportunity and go through that. Essentially, everything that we're doing is basically we had to change some of the verbiage in the resolution as well as add Scott Hagan's position because he was appointed and not elected. His position will be up for election as a short-term position. So it'll be a 2-year position. So when we do our applications, we need to specify if we want to do the full term or the 2-term. And then when you actually apply at the county, they'll have you specify which one you're going for. So what we have is we have the board member 1 position, which is currently held by Kathy Clater. That's a full term. Board member 2 position, currently held by Ellen Stalling. That's also a full term. And board member 3 position, currently held by Kathy Muse, and that's also a full term. And then we have the board member 4 position, currently held by Scott Hagan, and that's a short term. Those are all up for election in November. So that's what's going on with that. And that this resolution just gets us on the same ballot as Lassen County is really what this is for.
Yeah, we need that to happen.
So we can open up to any public comment regarding the resolution. Any board comment?
Seems pretty reasonable to me. I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All right, Kathy Clater,
Yes.
Alan Stallings,
Yes.
Gerald Oliver, Scott Hagan,
Yes.
Kathy Muse. Go ahead and turn it over to Frank Muse for item number 5.
Good morning. Thank you guys for coming. I really appreciate it. Monday, I was contacted from OSHA, and this was regarding our inspection that was in April. And from that inspection, due to multiple complaints from other members in this community, OSHA has been called up here multiple times. This was the 3rd inspection for us. With this one, there is a comment from OSHA inspector that states that all firefighters in voluntary positions have to be firefighter 1 status certified, or they can't respond to any emergency, specifically fires as well. No one in our department is current in their firefighter 1 status. So I reached out to OES. OES said that's not true. We don't need to have current certified firefighter 1 status. OSHA's wrong. So I asked them to get that in writing. They have not done so as well. They advised me to reach out to our legal team to get a statement from them. So with permission from the chair, I actually reached out to Greg and was looking for his advice, as well as reached out to CSFA, and which is an organization for firefighters. When I reached out to Norma, she made the comment that this is a statewide issue. This is not just us. They're having a major problem with Cal OSHA's requiring firefighter 1 status, and that they're doing legal action against it. If we were to have all of the volunteer fire departments in Lassen County require this, we probably would not have a single voluntary firefighter or fire station. To my knowledge, I don't think a single one has a current firefighter 1 active with all of them. So I asked OES what their opinion was and what we should do, because my fear is with our liability, if we respond, OSHA says we can't respond to a fire issue, we're going to accept that liability, and we're sending uncertified firefighters to an incident where potentially opens up to liability. OES requested that we still remain on dispatch, so we know what's going on. But unless it's a catastrophic event, we're not responding until we can have this matter clarified between OES and Cal OSHA, which that could be a day, it could be a month, who knows how long this is going to take. I can't make that decision myself. I have to leave it up to the board to clarify how we go forward in this. I think we have the capabilities of responding. We proved it with the Osprey Hotel. We kept it spreading from anywhere else besides the hotel. We contained it. Also, with this issue going on, our mutual aid is now limited. There's a statement from the Stones-Bengard Fire District. Until further notice, Stones-Bengard Community Service District Volunteer Fire Department will not be responding to mutual aid request for the Spalding area, with the exception of a catastrophic event. This decision was made based on litigation concerns and adverse repercussions that may affect Stones-Bengard CSD and Volunteer Fire Department. Sincerely, Chief 1800, Brain Bar. I have copies of that if anybody would like. Cal Fire, which is our other most common mutual aid, if willing and able, they will respond to Spalding. And then, yeah. We're classifying a catastrophic event as multiple vehicle accident. A fire that is either capable or that is capable to spread through the community or infect other buildings, or a matter of life and death. Our mutual aid will not be active. We're not going to be responding unless we're specifically requested because of a catastrophic event. In another portion of the Cal OSHA comment was that we are allowed to be trained under as firefighter 1s without being certified, but we have to have our approval from the county fire marshal. We do not have a county fire marshal. We have a state fire marshal. So Monday morning, we have a request going out to the state fire marshal to have permission, to give me permission to train everybody, which we've already been doing as firefighter 1s without having certified as firefighter 1s. With firefighter 1, there's multiple courses. You have like structure, hazmat, wildlands, and I'm forgetting. If there is a structure fire, our policy is not to go into a structure. Most of these houses have root cellars Like my house alone has a 15-foot drop if you're going that thing. And if we drop in that, we're not coming out. We've been doing wildland training, which we sent all of our training records into OSHA. He's supposed to be getting back to me on Monday if he has questions. Hazmat, I went through that course already at the college. It was a 20-hour course or 21-hour. They're requiring all of our firefighters to do this. And I think it's wrong. We're able to train and do a lot of this, but we cannot keep up with the full status of a firefighter one certificate. And it's 260 hours, just the initial to get this. A lot of people do the fire academy at college. It's a 3-month course, 5 days a week. Our volunteers don't have the time or energy, I don't think, to do that, including myself, or money. We have to give up the job, and then you have to keep certified every year. Any questions?
This will affect all volunteer fire departments, not just ours. Once it's,
Yes.
the word starts to spread, it's
Correct.
going to affect every volunteer fire department in the state of California.
Correct.
Absolutely.
And it has already started affecting them. But because of all these complaints to OSHA, brought it to us first in Madison County.
Right.
Question, Randy.
We can pass the microphone around.
Is it like an arbitrary thing by this inspector, or is this something that's coming down from like top OSHA brass?
So with the inspector, it came from him himself. I'm waiting to get it in writing itself to go, okay, give me something so I got black and white to one take it to a legal team and say this is wrong. But and that's the other part of it is you have OES and Cal OSHA, so they're both state departments that don't like to go against each other.
So you're saying that the fire one category is basically all fire related. Does that mean you can't respond to medical?
So we could, according to OSHA, respond to medicals. But with that also, it's a clarification of requires their volunteers to have CPR and first aid and go to regular trainings. They respond to fire. Until I get clarification as a volunteer department, it shutting us down.
Because you're basically the one, or whoever the person that gets to a call here, you're the one who decides that a helicopter gets called or not. So if we shut the fire department down, that's gonna have to wait until Grasshopper gets here before somebody makes a determination. So you've lost a half hour at least.
Oh yeah. Well, and that's the thing, we're not
Get
shutting
here.
down. Again, we're trying to keep to the catastrophic events where, and if somebody feels that they're needing a helicopter, they can definitely express that on 911. But yeah, and like I've also expressed to Grasshopper and to the other stations, because it is helpful to have another body there to land the helicopter while they're on scene or even transport. They can request us.
If we shut down, then we're.
Again, we're not shutting down. We're limited on our being able to respond.
Still able to respond to that.
We could. Again, I'm still waiting for a legal team. Yeah.
Could you speak to the liability that we would face if we were answering some of these calls?
So, which I had this clarified from a few other departments. Our liability as a volunteer department does not start until we go responding. Once we go responding, that opens us up for any form. is uncertified or untrained, it's on us. Yeah.
Okay, it's my understanding that OSHA's role is employee safety, which I understand legislation was passed that put volunteer firefighters in an employee status so that they could have OSHA protections. So when we're talking about community liability, district liability, or whatever, is this if our volunteers go out there and something happens to them? This is nothing even to do with liability for that not saving the house or something like that. It's about the employee safety. I just wanted
Correct. And that's, yeah.
the volunteers.
Under OSHA's standards, there is one person in this community that would qualify to be on the fire department. He works for CAL FIRE, is not interested. We have 3 or 4 people that used to be firefighter 2s that are still in the community, have not upgraded their deals, not interested in upgrading or re-upping their deals. But I was reading the other day, nationwide, volunteer fire departments are down 66% people. It's hard to find volunteers. I read the other day that Vacaville City Fire Department don't even require you to be a firefighter 1 to get hired because they can't find them. And this is a deal that's going on nationwide. And
that's the thing. And according to OSHA, unless you're re-upped and current in your certifications, you don't qualify. And not even firefighter 1s or firefighter 2s. If they're not current, they're not current. And that wipes out everybody. Sorry, go ahead.
To Amy's question there's a criteria at the dispatch center on how you call in a medical. They automatically dispatch a helicopter majority of the time. However you call
Oh,
it.
and then you guys
they'll-
call it off.
No, well, we would call it off. Yes, the fire department would call it off. But once a helicopter is dispatched, we would never call a helicopter off until paramedics show. Okay, but
We
the
can advise
criteria-
them, but we can't.
criteria at the dispatch, they have their own. Dispatching a helicopter immediately. They see fit.
Or if the patient AMAs. If they AMA, then we can call it off.
And regardless, there's several people around here think CAL FIRE is totally trained.
One
You get points to get hired if you have an EMT card. 99% of them has done. And as far as I know, the only one that responded last year from CAL FIRE that actually had an EMT card was the girl from Grass who wants to become a doctor.
Yeah,
Most of them, as soon as they get hired,
let it go.
quit updating their EMT card. So,
I believe currently between the two Grasshopper and Eagle Station,
right. And
one person on one
and it's
shift.
getting so
That's it.
hard to find firefighter 1s. The CAL FIRE's at the stage where they let you self-evaluate so that you can get hired. And then self-evaluate to become a firefighter 2.
Any additional public comment?
So, what I need from the board is advice or how to proceed further. My recommendation is like how OES has stated, still remain dispatched, catastrophic event only, until we can get this clarified. But we'll leave it up to you guys.
Go to that status and then pursue the state fire marshal training avenue that we have so that we can begin to do that.
And that's the thing, regardless of what happens, we're going to get this clarified because it's not going to only affect us, it's going to affect the whole state. So we got to figure this out. Even with OES in Alaska County, we started this ball rolling a couple days ago, and it's like, all right, we got to figure this out, because if they're going to come after us, they're just gonna go department after department.
We might backtrack a little bit for some additional public comment.
Yeah, Mike, sounds like listening to this, that we never, the definition of the catastrophic events that you listed.
Yeah.
Things we respond to.
So there's a lot of, like our call the other night was to we had a lift assist the other morning. We get a lot of other calls that Grasshopper can respond to in 20 minutes. That's not going to affect and actually open us up to a fire jumping or causing a structure fire or anything like that. We on average, I think it's 60 calls we respond to a year. So well, in the last couple of years, only one of which is a year has been a sure. That's where we can keep the dispatch open. We still see all the calls coming in. And our policy is if we don't have two in this to respond out of the station, we can't go by ourselves. Most of the time, I'll meet them ahead of schedule with the chief's truck. So we have somebody, so there is two going to the scene. But the catastrophic side of it, we don't see a lot of these events.
Are we liable? I mean, we're catch 22, right? If we don't respond, we're liable for something. If we do respond, we're liable for site.
Yeah. Our actual legal liability does not start until we say we are responding.
All right, we'll return to board discussion.
I think we gotta go with what Frankie said. We gotta hold off, see what happens.
And that's the thing.
I don't think we should force it. I don't think you need the liability as far as the district.
What is our, Jesus. What is our duty to respond?
If we're able to, what we've done in the past, if we're able to respond, we need to respond. But yeah. But yeah.
So we're weighing what our fine is going to be from OSHA versus not responding and somebody being seriously injured.
So it's not necessarily a fine from OSHA that I'm even concerned about. It's from somebody suing us for knowingly sending uncertified people out.
Yeah.
The fine from OSHA, it's a fine from OSHA and we can always fight it. But
It's knowing we went out there knowing we were not qualified or had
or
what OSHA says.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing.
They'll just have to wait for CAL FIRE to come from Grasshopper.
If they're available.
If they come, yeah.
Could-
That's the price the rest of us are gonna have to pay for the few people that turned in all of the complaints.
Months when CAL FIRE is not available.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's not,
This winter will be the first winter that the last winter, I mean, that Grasshopper won't be manned year round. They're anticipating next winter, not this upcoming, but the one after, to be year round. So our nearest resource, because of all these other issues, our mutual aid is only coming from Susanville.
Is that CAL FIRE in Susanville?
Headquarters in Susanville in wintertime and Sierra Regional, whatever SEMSA is called now.
Or Westwood?
Yeah.
You know, back to my original comment as far as OSHA liability, the liability isn't to the people that the liability is with the volunteers, that if something happens to them while they're out on a call, that is where the liability would lie. It has nothing to do with members of the community at large or the person who's in the accident or whose house is burning down. That's not where the liability would land. The liability would be if something happened to a volunteer out on the call.
And then
Question.
would there be a possibility to for our volunteers to waive that liability?
No.
No, you don't get to choose to do
No.
that.
No.
We have marked this off.
Yeah, so if something- or if people did it, I mean,
But you also have the problem though of you still have Cal OSHA telling you one rule and you've got OES telling you another one. You went out there knowing that you weren't
You're
sure
breaking- yeah,
if you're
right.
breaking OSHA's rules.
Yes.
You knowingly went that, so that will affect your work comp and that will affect your liability because you knowingly put your person in harm because you weren't sure if you were going to be covered.
So if this thing passes with, so if this thing passes with OSHA to where you have to have your fire one, do we have anyone on the fire department who is willing to do that?
So she's asking if, which the area are requiring, according to OSHA, they are requiring us be certified firefighter one. If we have anybody on the department or in the community willing to do it. I have no problem going through a 3-month course, but I personally can't afford it. And the requirements that are in firefighter one, I don't believe a lot of them don't pertain to us.
No.
But because our policy as a department, we, again, like structure, we're not jumping on that roof and
No.
ventilating a roof. We're not going to be going in to a building, especially if we don't know the building very well, to go and try to put a fire out. We're containing the fire and we're keeping it from spreading to the other parts of this community. Does that answer your questions? Okay.
In the interest of open dialogue and discussion, we're kind of moving back and forth between some rules here. Technically, when we do move to board discussion, public comment is over, but due to the nature of this particular instance on our community, as long as we remain cordial and remain respectful, we take turns. I think that we can keep the dialogue going just to make sure everybody gets their questions answered because it's pretty important.
Hi, I'm Mario Caligari. I just recently joined the community. This is an unfortunate situation. I think that I've heard a couple of comments that I think are important. That the volunteer fire department has been the foundation of public safety since the beginning of time. To have this thing occur is not acceptable, and I think we need to do everything we can to elevate this as high as we need to go to get this taken care of. But I think that there is some truth in it, and I heard board member Muse say that as well. Is there's kind of almost 3 stages of liability. We're as a community going to have some liability related to this issue. The fire department obviously going to have some issue, and so is the individual, because you're not protected under Good Samaritan law if you willingly go out there and you know you're not skilled enough to perform that task. So we need to provide our volunteer firefighters every protection that we can get them. And make sure that legally and liability wise that they're protected, not only for doing their job, but also from OSHA, from, we've already heard all of these non-governmental institutions that keep passing these rules and regulations. So I know there's a few members that know some of our state congressmen. And I think if it gets to that, I'd like to actually watch the progress of this so that I too can engage a few members of our California congressional district, because in the community that I actually used to live in, which is in the Napa Valley, there's a number of volunteer fire departments down there as well. This is not going to be unique to Spalding. So I think we need to elevate this. And I think that if the fire chief can give us that direction, I don't want to elevate it and cause a problem, but I do want to elevate it and make sure that he receives the support that he needs to have at levels above this jurisdiction.
Right. Thank you.
Yep. Good.
On the issue of structure fires in the country, there's more volunteer fire departments in this country than there is paid fire departments in this country.
By far. Oh, by far.
Mhm.
Excuse me?
By far.
So fighting the fire, when I ran the department for years, there was 2 or 3 of us that were trained to go inside. I didn't want nobody else going in. The liability is huge. Until you have practice going into burning buildings on the training deal. There's only one other person that had that in their department besides 2 or 3 of us, and that was the current fire chief. He went to a 2-day deal. I was there one of those days in Susanville when they burnt the house down, on a training deal. He's the only one that's, been trained to go inside a burning building. You cannot go into a burning building with one person. They have a 2 in, 2 out rule in this country. 2 in, 2 out. There's 2 going in, there's 2 at the front door waiting. God forbid something happens. Homes aren't being saved. More homes burn to the ground than are saved in this country. I don't know the percentage of it, but do you know the percentage?
0.06% houses are considered, building structure fires are considered safe by their standards.
So this is, volunteer departments, by the time they respond from their home, get to the station, get dressed, it's a whole different ballgame than where my wife and I came from. Okay, we were there 24/7. So this is not a new deal. Unfortunately, I know a little history of what's going on in this place right now, and Frankie's making the right move right now until he gets more clarification from the lawyers and from Cal OSHA and from CSFA.
And like you said too, somebody put out on social media and criticizing us for our response with the Osprey Hotel. 12 o'clock at night, we get woken up, our volunteers come to the department, get dressed and respond to the scene. And if we make it in 20 minutes, 30 minutes, that's impressive. And especially if we can keep it from spreading to the rest of this community. Shoot, the tree's still standing that was next to the building. But Jerry's tree, yeah.
Jerry's tree.
And that's the thing. We could progress further and just keep as normal and like nothing's happened and wait till Cal OSHA, but I think that's wrong because Cal OSHA is telling us we can't respond.
So
and
what kind of language do you need in a motion to say that we go under reduced status or something? Is that what it's called?
Restricted is
Restricted.
something that I've been saying because we're still responding for catastrophic events and leaving it open to helping land a helicopter, or if there is a structure fire for mutual aid in Stones or Bucks Bay, like there has been in years past, we are still able to respond. I haven't heard from Greg yet, or the other attorney I've reached out for to get a proper saying from that. But for until further notice, we're restricted to responding unless it's a catastrophic event. Is the shortest, sweetest, easiest, simplest way to put it, I think.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll get this clarified sooner rather than later. Because I was saying a couple days ago, so this started Tuesday, I believe. It's been a blur. I've been on phone calls to LA, Sacramento, who knows where the other person was, trying to get anybody to give me a written response saying, no, you're covered, you're good. This is a matter that it's Cal OSHA's problem, not OES. I'm like, OES says this is ridiculous. We won't have a volunteer fire department in the county.
You would have to stay
State.
Yeah.
So can we make a motion to go on restricted status and also direct you to pursue with the state fire marshal the training waiver that we're looking for? Do we need to do that in a motion, or?
It has to be a board decision, so yes.
I think
Because
the catastrophic event needs to be put in there though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
That
so
would be-
restricted to catastrophic event.
And
Correct.
Well, the other problem, are you going to make the decision what's a catastrophic event?
me and OES. That's why I'm trying to
Seems to
define.
me that puts a lot of liability on us.
Well, and that's why I'm trying to restrict catastrophic event to multi-vehicle collision, structure or fire to that could potentially spread to the community. And that's, I don't know how else to define it. And that's even per OES. He's like, that would be the 2 events. He didn't even include medical in there.
What are we gonna do about medical?
Well, and that's the thing. That's why I left it as life or death.
I think you should respond to medical. I think there's too much liability.
And how will you
It's
determine
one,
before you
it's
get
one
there
thing
what's
to
life
go
or
out
death?
and help land the helicopter and stuff, but to actually go to someone's house to treat them or comfort them before CAL FIRE gets there, I don't think we should have that
I believe-
liability either.
I believe most of the complaints, and I could be wrong, the majority of the complaints have been the medical end of it,
Yeah.
not the firefighting.
Not
end of it.
firefighting,
It's been the
so.
medical end.
Actually, one of the complaints was that we do not provide proper PPE for our
Oh, that's true. I
and
felt that.
equipment to our firefighters, specifically gloves, which was real entertaining when the inspector got here and was like, I was like, where do you want to see? We have latex gloves on the counter. We have them in our pockets. We have them in the vehicles. We have gloves everywhere. And we have drawers and pockets full of wildland and structure. And we just got the new grant one. So we have brand new equipment. And we're working on next year for the next one for structure gear.
I was wondering if you think it would behoove us to go to the county supervisors and the county fire board and have them make up a criteria for this county's training for volunteer firefighters
I think that's well
or
advised.
fire departments.
Yeah, definitely.
And a classification of catastrophic or anything like
Yeah.
that.
And a lot of the supervisors in the counties, not just Lassen, don't know anything about it. They're finding out now.
Yes. Because it's always going to be a problem. We're never going to have firefighter 1s or firefighter 2s or whatever.
Not gonna happen.
There's some people in the community that have gotten certs online with no experience. They think that qualifies them. But unless they're job oriented or certificates, they really don't mean anything in the industry. So I would think the county could set up a criteria between all the fire departments and stuff for the training. I think it would help.
Yes.
Yeah, no, and that's, we had a call to Mike Scanlon and he had no idea about any of this. Or 2 other ones that we made call to, of seeing if they've heard anything about this issue. Nobody, literally nobody has except one. And OES didn't even know about this. Yeah,
Although most of them, I think, just found out about it Friday afternoon and Saturday. Most of the supervisors here. And I know in the other counties, the majority of the ones that have been contacted were contacted on Saturday. So they really haven't had time to jump into it, but they do know is a very vital, important thing to get handled.
So, Frankie, or whatever, when the appropriate time comes where you need that community support to write the letters and make the phone calls and all that, let us know, because this is important to us too.
I appreciate that.
So I guess at this point, if you're saying people are just finding out about the issue and whatnot, obviously give time you to finish talking to attorneys, so yes, all that stuff, but you let us know when we need to do it.
And that's the thing, even if you want to reach out and going, hey, we've heard about this issue, what's the status of it, to you, anybody higher up, please. Like I haven't heard from the fire marshal from LA yet. Yeah, that will be a fun one. The last time I talked to him was for the Osprey Hotel fire. And they didn't send any help. I appreciate it.
Go back
Let's
to
move back to
catastrophic
board discussion.
event, though.
our goal is, or our role would be, do we need a motion for this? Do we
Yes.
need An
Need a
actual
motion.
action?
Yep.
So we want to make a motion to restrict our volunteer fire department response to catastrophic events only as defined by our fire chief
That's fine.
And OES and
and OES.
Yes.
supervisors.
Okay, do I make that motion?
I'll second it.
Okay, Kathy Clater,
Yes.
Ellen Stallings,
Yes.
Gerald Oliver,
Yes.
Scott Hagan,
No.
and Kathy Muse.
Yes.
I think that wraps up item number 5, and we will move to Kathy for item 6.
No.
Sorry.
A motion to adjourn the meeting.
All motion.
A second?
Kathy Clater,
Yes.
Ellen Stallings,
Yes.
Gerald Oliver,
Yes.
Scott Hagan,
Yes.
and Kathy Muse
Yes.
Meeting adjourned.
at 10:41.